Pink Floyd and Shine On You Crazy Diamonds. Jared's chosen that one for us to play as the last song to listen to as you leave this earth. Hey, I was just looking at our history because I don't think we've actually physically met before, but you did the Live Lounge, and it was 2007 that you did the Live Lounge when I was at Radio 1, and you did Stronger. You remember doing that?
This is how you know she's too famous, because we have definitely met.
Don't say that.
Oh, we have definitely met before,
that.
but that's okay. But it goes back to what I was saying before when you asked if I met David Bowie, you'd think you would remember. Yeah. But sometimes, like I was saying, I don't know if I said it off air or not, but when you go to the Academy Awards, you go to the Grammys, you go to some event, you can meet like 40 of the most famous people to ever walk the planet in the course of 45 minutes. And it's because you already know them and recognize them, sometimes you forget people that you've already met, even if they're incredibly, incredibly amazing like me.
I was convinced that we'd only ever met over the line. Really?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
No. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
All I was going to say was that you won the ultimate Live Lounge performance when Radio 1 did a poll, and that cover
came to the UK to get shut down by Joe.
I can't. That's so awful.
What's your name again? You've been lovely today, but
God,
brand new artist. But yeah.
Anyway, you beat the Arctic Monkeys' Love Machine and Lady Gaga Viva La Vida and all those different tracks, and it was the Radio 1 listeners chose that as the ultimate Live Lounge, which was obviously a while ago now. But.
It was, but what a beautiful thing to get acknowledged in that way by people. But we've had a lot of fun doing Live Lounge. I think we take it a little too serious because we work way too hard on those things.
It was magnificent when you did Stronger, because you just played on through the news. The news was supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
And you just carried on playing, and everyone was running around. My producers were like, no, they can't do the news because the band are just playing. And you just carried on, and it was amazing.
That's so funny. But we did Lady Gaga, and then we did Stay, and that song kind of went viral, and a lot of people actually learned about our band from that song, like a whole new group of people from that Stay cover.
Well, there you go. So it pays to be diligent and make it as good as you can.
I was going to play it at the big weekend, but we ran out of time.
Oh, damn it. Well, you're doing a festival this weekend. Maybe bring it out then. You've got to fill an hour and a half.
I will. In Poland, we'll be headlining this festival this weekend.
We do something called Up Close and Personal, so just a few random questions to throw at you. What would you say is your job title?
I would say I'm a professional problem solver. That's what I do. Is I literally spend my day solving problems.
Your own problems or other people's problems?
Probably mostly my own. But no, I solve all the problems that get thrown my way. I would say if I had to fill out a form, I'd say I'm an artist because I do a lot of different things. And I started off. A lot of people don't know this, but I started off as a painter, and I was in art school for many years. I started when I was 16 or 17. In like art college, actually. I was pretty early studying to be a figurative painter. And then I also studied photography and film as filmmaking as a director.
Well, you made this video, didn't you, for Stuck?
Yeah, I directed the video. I've been doing that for years. And I used to have a pseudonym.
Go on.
It was Bartholomew Cubbins.
Where did that come from?
I just wanted to direct the videos and not be bothered, not have the pressure that comes along. I was already, an actor, a musician. I'm already writing songs, producing songs. I was like, okay, let me just chill so people can enjoy them and not kind of get annoyed at the fact I'm doing too many different things. And then it became a fun thing that I've never actually talked about it before, I don't think.
Is it always that name?
This is the first, yeah. And I made up a whole story about him, how he's this Danish madman, with white hair and, had a temper and, and now I gave him creative director credit on the most recent video, but I took the directing credit.
Amazing.
On the latest video for Stuck. But yeah, those are fun things to do.
Bartholomew Cubbins. What's the thing that your mum has been in your life the most proud of? Something that you've done that you've made her really happy?
I mean, I think she's really proud of 30 Seconds to Mars because it's Shannon, my brother, and me. Mm-hmm. So it's the two of us. And we've been making music since we're kids. So probably for her to come to a concert at the O2 or somewhere else and to see her two kids on stage is probably you know.
Yeah. Now, as a mum of two boys, I can completely know where you're coming from. My heart would burst if I saw my kids on stage together being good and happy.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favourite dessert?
You know, I don't eat dessert. I'm really strict about some things. And I have a really super, super healthy diet. Like for me, I eat berries and I'm like, ooh, it tastes like Sour Patch Kids because I don't really eat a lot of sugar. But when I do, there's a place that I go in Paris called Mariage Frere, which is a tea house in the Marais. And they make a dessert there that's covered, it's like caramel and chocolate on a bed of raspberry, and it's covered in like gold leaf.
Yeah,
It's
wow.
like some gold foil or something, and you eat it. It's like literally you're eating gold. It's really indulgent.
And what does that do to you when you eat that? If you don't ever
I
eat
run
it?
around the block a few times for sure. Like hurry up and write a song or two. You know, get to that email list. I don't know.
300 emails in a minute.
Yeah. But no, it's a really good place, and it's a very old tea house. They have great tea there.
Who has been the most intimidating or interesting or exciting person you've ever done a gig in front of? Like you've done a show, 30 Seconds to Mars, and someone is in the audience and you're thinking, I better not mess this up now.
Well, I'll tell you a funny one. I didn't have that exact feeling, but one time many years ago, we were in Atlanta playing this little club called the Cotton Club, right?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, the Cotton Club. And it was, I looked down in the audience, and this is early days where you're literally, you know, you're standing on the barricade. There's no barricade. The people are just pushed on the stage, basically. And the people are moshing and going crazy. I look down, and it's Andre 3000.
Oh my God.
Literally in the front.
The ultimate.
Like jumping around, screaming. I'm screaming, he's screaming back. We're all like just going nuts. So that was pretty cool.
That's extremely
And then
cool.
afterwards, he was outside just kind of standing around with everybody else after the gig, and we were just kind of said, what's up? And super, super cool moment.
Amazing. What's the coolest feature in your house? We've spoken to Jack White, who's got a bowling alley. Wayne Coyne's got a really trippy house.
Oh, who does?
Wayne Coyne from Flaming Lips.
Okay, yeah.
So what have you got?
I win the prize.
Go on.
Because I live in a former top secret Air Force base. So
Okay. You've got a bunker.
The mic has been dropped. I don't just have one bunker. I have many. It's like literally, it's a piece of history. It's quite beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It's like living in an old industrial loft in Berlin, but it's, you know, in the hills of Hollywood.
Okay, you've dropped the mic.
I mean, technically, I live in Nevada now because that is my home. But I lived in this house in Hollywood Hills for years, since 2014.
And what did it look like?
I still have it.
Oh, okay.
I still own it.
What does it
Yeah,
look
we
like?
rehearse there, and we do other work there, and do all kinds of stuff. It looks like it's actually quite beautiful in a way because it's all factory windows and lots of light. But it also is very industrial. It's rough. It's not fancy Hollywood Hills living. You know, it's not like someone may imagine, but it's creative and it's cool. It's a very cool place.
Finally, what's the best award that you've ever won? So it could be something when you were at school for a painting. It could be a sports award. It could be an acting, music. What's the proudest, best award
Well,
you've
this
got?
is an easy one because it's got to be the Live Lounge Award that we won for our
That
cover
time we
songs.
didn't meet.
Yeah, that time we never met. But that was incredible. And we've had such a beautiful history. It's a weird trick that happens. Like as you get older, like with this album, we feel like a brand new band. There's not a single part of us that feels like we're just kind of holding on. We're trying to hold on and write a song like one of those old hits and, you know, kind of imitate ourselves. It really feels like a new beginning for 30 Seconds to Mars. And I think even when people hear the album, there's evidence to back that up. And I hope people like it. I mean, we're excited by it.
100%. Having heard it fleetingly, as I said, but I would back you up completely with that. Yeah, it's very fresh.
But the history that you have with people, we still like coming in here still feels like this brand new experience. But when I sit down and think about it, and I was at the BBC Radio 1 big weekend for the third or fourth time, we did, I don't even know how many live lounges now, but those are a part of the history of 30 Seconds to Mars, the history of my brother and I, the history for our audience around the world. And it's great to have that woven into the tapestry, the history of the band, all of the visits we had. I mean, I think the first time I came to Radio One, I believe, was maybe Zane Lowe was here at the time.
Probably.
It was a long time, but were we in a tower? I don't even remember, but it was a long time ago, but we've been coming quite a long time. And it's been a beautiful thing.
Okay, we'll end the show with a band that we've mentioned a few times during the night. So, The Cure, hard to pick one track. What should we go for?
The Cure, as I say sometimes. The Cure. Hard to pick one track because it's funny, I saw Robert Smith at a show. We were both playing like MTV Awards or something together, and we watched their sound check for a second, and I went up to him afterwards, which I rarely do, but we were walking alongside of each other as we left, and I said, you know, I'm a massive fan. And he goes, well, no, that can't be true, because if it were, you'd be totally insane. You know, or something like that. And he's right.
Yeah.
You know, because I understand what he means, but no, The Cure, I mean, I'm just you know, I would just devour every single album ad infinitum, you know, sleep to the albums type of thing.
Yeah,
so
one of my earliest discoveries as well. So I
was into The Cure before Joy Division. Like I went, a lot of people kind of went Joy Division, Cure, but I was Cure, then Joy Division, Susie, and all the other ones. But The Cure was like the entry point for me into a lot of different types of music.
Yeah, I remember having a cassette. I think it was The Walk in Forest and 17 Seconds. I remember visualize it so clearly now.
And you know what's interesting about him is like he knew who he was from the very beginning. Maybe he didn't feel, I'm not saying he felt like that, but when you listen to his voice, he had an authentic voice from the very moment he opened, you know, he recorded a song. Like the first, Boys Don't Cry, you hear Robert Smith, and it's the Robert Smith you hear today.